Thank you. Colleagues, I welcome you to today's sitting. I will amend the order paper to allow the Minister of Finance lay documents for remission of taxes. Clerk will be guiding along the way. And honorable members, under Article 9 of the Parliamentary Sports Club Constitution, the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament has appointed Honorable Karimu Masaba, MP Mbari Industrial Division, as the chairperson of the Sports Club, Parliamentary Sports Club. Congratulations, Honorable Masaba. And in the same vein, Honorable Sarah Kitio has been appointed as a manager. Congratulations, Honorable Sarah Kitio. Honorable colleagues, there are some members who were designated to more than one committee when we went to reconcile our records. I will therefore withdraw Honorable Kanyes Jemase from Committee on Government Assurance and the Implementation, since she was designated Vice Chairperson, Committee on Subsidiary Legislation. Those are two standing committees, and a member can only be on one. I will also withdraw the designation of Honorable Mirembe Lydia Daffin from the Committee on Rules, Privileges and Discipline, since she was designated as Vice Chairperson, Committee on Human Rights, which is another standing committee. I also request the opposition Chief Whip to handle the designation of Honorable Kiza Andrew Namitego, who was designated to Committee on Education and Sports and the Committee on Environment and Natural Resources, which are both sectoral committees. Honorable, you'll be at the right time. I'll give you space on the order paper to do that. Because you might find there are even some few changes you would want to make along the way, together with the government chief whip. So we shall give you time to do that once the two of you. But I would request we do that by Thursday, which included the government chief whip designating Honorable Aida, woman MP Karangara, to the committee that she should be on. So let's finish issues of designation and redesignation this week. Honorable colleagues, I have received a letter from the President returning some bills dated 10th July 2026 and addressed to the Right Honorable Jacobo Maxons Obos, Speaker of Parliament. The Income Tax Amendment Bill 2026 and the Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2026. In accordance with Article 91, Clause 3B and C of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, I hereby recommit Clause 11 of the Income Tax Amendment Bill 2026 and Clause 2E of the Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2026 to Parliament for reconsideration. This is on account of the following observations and concerns. A. Income Tax Amendment Bill 2026. Parliament passed Clause 11 of the Income Tax Amendment Bill 2026, which amends Section 131 of the Income Tax Act to impose withholding tax on winnings from betting and gaming calculated as the difference between the payout and the stake. However, in passing of the bill, an additional provision was introduced exempting winnings derived from land-based casinos licensed under the Lotteries and Gaming Act from withholding tax. The exemption creates opportunities for tax avoidance and revenue leakage. By removing an entire category of gaming winnings from withholding tax, the amendment creates incentives for transactions to be structured through land-based casinos in order to obtain a tax advantage not available to other gaming operators. In addition, the amendment creates an unjustified distinction between land-based casinos and operators conducting substantially similar gaming activities through online platforms. Both derive income from the same economic activity, and there is no justification for exempting one category while taxing the other. B, Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2026. Parliament also passed Clause 2E of the Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2026, which increases excise duty on single-user plastics from 2.5% or USD 70 per ton, whichever is higher, to 25% or USD 1,500 per ton, whichever is higher. The proposed increase is substantial and is likely to impose significant cost pressures on manufacturers engaged in the production and the use of single-use plastics. It may adversely affect production, investment, and employment within the sector. In addition, viable alternatives to plastic packaging are not yet readily available in Uganda. I, therefore, consider that the matter requires further study before the proposed increase is implemented as a policy measure for advancing environmental conservation objectives. Recommittal. Given the above observations and concerns, I'm constrained to assent to the Income Tax Amendment Bill 2026 and the Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2026. Accordingly, I hereby recommit the following provisions to Parliament for reconsideration as follows. 1. Clause 11 of the Income Tax Amendment Bill 2026 be amended to read: the Principal Act is amended by substituting for Section 131 as follows. 131. Withholding of tax on payments for winnings of betting or gaming. 1. A person who makes payment for winnings of betting or gaming shall withhold tax on the winnings at the rate prescribed in Part 11 of Schedule 4 to this Act. 2. For the purposes of subsection 1, winnings means the difference between the payout and the staked amount. This section does not apply to winnings paid by a person licensed to conduct a national lottery under Section 23 of the Lotteries and Gaming Act. Clause 2. Clause 2E of the Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2026 be amended to read: plastics. A. Plastic granules used in the manufacture of single-use plastic products, single-use plastic products including disposable plastic cups, lids, plates, cutlery, bags, sachets, bottles, straws, and stars, cling films and wraps, jars and lids, and sacks and bags of polymers of ethylene, except Roman 1, vacuum packaging bags for food, juices, tea, and coffee. 2, sacks and bags for direct use in the manufacture of sanitary pads. 3, multiple-use plastics and plastic granules used in the manufacture of multiple-use plastics. And 4, plastic granules used in the manufacture of plastic products used for packaging pharmaceutical products and plastic products used for packaging pharmaceutical products. Now here, the tax is 2.5% or USD 70 per ton, whichever is higher. Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda. Now, honorable colleagues, for those who are new and might be wondering why I'm reading the President's letter on the floor, whenever the President recommits or refuses to assent to a bill and he recommits it to the House, the rules require me to read the letter on the floor and refer it to the relevant committee. So this is referred to the Committee on Finance, Planning and Economic Affairs. And Honorable Minister for Finance, you can guide me on time. I know you need to be correcting taxes. This is very urgent. You can guide me on how quickly you need this so that we can work in overdrive since we have a committee in place. Honorable Minister for Finance.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, how I wish this would be handled by the committee of the whole House so that we have it today. But in but in the circumstances that it must go through the Committee on Finance, I want to pray that within 2 weeks maximum, we have this bill considered by Parliament. Not considered, reconsidered by Parliament. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Masaba.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Just on the same, I wanted maybe the Minister to clarify, because I've had the clauses the President has read. Are we going to deal with the entire bill as a Finance Committee? Because when you look at...
That's not for the Minister. The rules limit you to only the clauses brought by the President. So because of that, our honorable colleagues, we are likely to have a break for LC elections. And this is an issue to do with taxes. The Committee for Finance should meet tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday morning and Thursday afternoon, report on the floor on this matter. Okay? There are 2 clauses, and I think...
Right Honorable, I have raised that because these are tax bills and they are bound by, they have a time on which they take effect. Yeah. And these bills should have already come into operation on the 1st of July, meaning they should have been collecting taxes. So are they going to come back and deal with it retrospectively? Because already it should have taken into effect, and now the Minister might bring it later on. That is why I needed the clarification. Right
no, Honorable, let us not disturb the Minister. We have a law in place until that law is amended. Okay? We have a law in place until that law is amended. But let's move quickly so that we enable the Minister raise funds which we need to do our work. What is the procedure matter you're raising?
Right Honorable Speaker, I'm having 2 procedural issues to raise.
I'll allow 1.
Thank you so much. Right Honorable Speaker, in line with Article 91, Clause 3 of the Constitution, and also in line with Article 76 on dissolution of Parliament, and Article 77 of the period the Parliament is supposed to serve over the 5 years, the law assumes that the 11th Parliament that was handling this specific bill was dissolved, and the matter was overtaken by event. And the President did not assent to the bill in the prescribed 30 days as required by the law. It is assumed that this is a new Parliament, and it is new committees that have been put in place, very innocent about the objectives, terms, and the content of the bill that is being returned in here. Isn't it procedurally right that this House is guided in line with the law that such a bill is supposed to be reintroduced before the new committee for effective consideration?
So, but Honorable Tebandeke, you see, when you're talking issues of facts, you need to be very clear. You're alleging that the President didn't sign the bill within the required 30 days. When was it presented to him? If I can know, because you seem to know better. Yeah, because when you put it on the President, so honorable colleagues, I want us to be cautious. I don't want each or any of you to carry a burden that is not yours. A member has said the President didn't sign the bill within 30 days. Okay? And the Constitution is very clear. 30 days from the date it is presented to him or her. So, Honorable Tebandeke, I think you need to clarify that, then we go forward. Because I know the President responded within 30 days as the presiding officer.
Right Honorable, with due respect, the previous presiding officer underwent the same, and we raised the same matter. And the guidance was that immediately, soonest as the bill is passed, the clerk should notify members by putting the information in the pigeonhole for
Honorable Tebandeke, Article 91, Clause 2. What does it say? It says the bill shall be presented to the president as soon as possible. We have a long process, okay, of cleaning a bill. You don't just take a bill to the president. So what I wanted you to clarify, you don't know the date the bill was sent to the president. So I would want you to put it on record that really the president, okay, the president being accused of not assenting to the bill in 30 days. Because that's an issue of fact. Yeah.
Right, Honorable. I'm moving by the ruling of the presiding officer by then.
Honorable Clerk, I need Honorable Tebandeke's submission expunged from the record as per the powers entrusted to me under the law. Okay? Colleagues, I want you, the Speaker warned you earlier, especially on issues which are not issues of opinion. If they are issues of facts, whenever you're going to raise issues of facts, be sure. If it was an opinion, okay, or if you had put it to me that, but Mr. Speaker, did the president respond in time? Then I would be able to guide you. But I don't want us to start accusing each other. Next time, today the president, next time it will be you, honorable colleague, being accused. So, on issues of facts, I request you, honorable colleagues, that we be very, very factual. That way we shall move very well. So, honorable colleagues, I don't want to take more time on this. Yes, Lop.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I seek your procedural guidance and perhaps input from government, because certain issues are matters of law. You've talked about issues of fact, and one could even say fact to person A could be different from person B, but a law, regardless who is dealing with it. Mr. Speaker, on Thursday, I left early and I did notify you as going to court to secure the release of the Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi as one of the sureties, and he was granted bail. The following day, on Friday, he was en route to Kampala and he was intercepted and taken by armed men in a Toyota Hiace vehicle, popularly known as a drone. That was Friday, Mr. Speaker. Today is Tuesday. His family has been looking for his whereabouts, and the rest of us colleague leaders. Now, my questions to government are twofold. Number one, where is the Honorable Muhammad Mwanga Chivumbi? Number two, is this the new normal? Because it's important that we know. Is this the new normal of how government will, they call it arrest? We call it an abduction because, Mr. Speaker, the law stipulates what an arrest is in Article 23 of our country's constitution. The Attorney General is here. He's a very senior lawyer. In fact, he has lectured most of the lawyers in town. Article 23 is very succinct. How somebody gets to be arrested, where they are taken, to police first, and thereafter, within 48 hours, produced in court. Mr. Speaker, I have seen some people say that Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi was picked up because of a tough speech he gave when he went back to his constituency. Now, that's problematic on two fronts. One, who determines that what he said was illegal? I thought it's a court of law. Who gets to determine that? Let's even imagine, Mr. Speaker, for argument's sake, that he said anything that is ultra-vires. Who determines that? I thought it's a court of law that does. Government has several times been urging the population to avoid mob justice. And on that front, I agree with government. Government officials, police, and so on, they say when you catch somebody, even if you catch them in an act, never mind that sometimes it's mistaken identity and somebody gets beaten, yet they've done nothing wrong. But that even if you catch somebody, whether stealing something of yours or whatever the case might be, government has been telling the population, take those people to police. Don't beat them up. And on that regard, I agree with government. So why doesn't government do the same thing it tells people to do? We need to stop preaching water and yet we drink wine. If you're telling people, if you catch somebody, they've stolen your money, your whatever, take to police, please don't beat. Why isn't government doing the same? If you assume that somebody has broken the law, produce them in court. It's now been 4 days, Mr. Speaker. We don't know where Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi is, and we do hear, I've seen some pictures on social media, I don't know if they are authentic. Bruises, blood, I don't know. And the only way that can be cleared is when we get to know where he is. Mr. Speaker, you see, we were here in September of 2021. Again, some who are saying it's because of what he said. Honorable Segirinya Muhammad and Honorable Alan Sewanyana were granted bail by court. As they were getting out of Kigo prison, outside the gates of Kigo prison, they were abducted. They had not said anything anywhere. In June of 2024, the Honorable Paul Akamba, who were here with him in the 11th Parliament, he was granted bail. He was abducted within court precincts. So the Attorney General needs to help us understand. Number one, where is Honorable Muhammad Mwanga Chivumbi? He needs to be accounted for. But number two, is this the new normal? Have we now veered off what the law does stipulate, learned Attorney General?
Thank you. I think I don't know whether I should go directed to the attorney, because there are issues beyond him. I was feeling I should go to the Right Honorable Deputy Leader of Government Business, who is leading his troops here, and he will be comfortable to pick any of the officers, of the colleagues, to support him.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, and I thank my brother, Honorable Senyonyi, for his intervention. I have heard him clearly, but for me also to be able to give you a fitting answer, I request that I return tomorrow and give you a fitting answer. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senyonyi, I don't want to be diverted beyond that, and tomorrow is not far.
Mr. Speaker, there were twofold issues. The where, we can wait for tomorrow because he probably has got to find out. It's not him who picked up the honorable member. So, yes, we hope that tomorrow we get feedback on where he is. But my second question, and that's why the learned Attorney General is here, was for the country to be guided. Is this the new normal? Because that doesn't have to wait until tomorrow.
Attorney
because
General?
the Constitution is succinctly clear.